everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Thursday, April 7th of the year 2022, and this is going to be my 77th FlossTube. So as always, I want to welcome you all. Welcome back to all my current viewers and subscribers. Thank you, as always, for your support, for your patience, for coming back to check in on me. It's always very much appreciated. I know I wouldn't be here without you. And I also want to say a special welcome to anyone that's watching for the first time. I hope that you like what you see, you find a reason to stay, subscribe, and continue to follow me on my stitching journey. I'm back, everyone. Hi. It's been a second. There's lots that I want to talk about. So both, real life, personal life, and stitching life. So I know that there's people that don't necessarily like or aren't really interested in learning about the personal life of makers. So I'll go ahead and leave a marker on the description of the video to let you know, like, okay, this is where the stitch talk actually starts, in case that's what you're interested in. But yeah, so first things first, obviously, the elephant in the room, the most obvious thing, I'm still in the same place. It's like, what's up, Alma? All this crazy talk about moving, like, what happened? Obviously, we decided to stay, as we were, looking into apartments and going to see the apartments. We were aware, we knew that there was going to be a lot that we were going to have to sacrifice, but at the same time, we couldn't find something that just, it was just like, yes, okay, I like this one, let's go. Even though we were looking for something cheaper, that, money that we would have quote unquote saved in rent would have just gone towards another expense, whether it be gas, because most of the places that we were looking at were going to be further away from our jobs, our workplaces. There was no place that had a refrigerator. That was like a surprise thing for us. Apparently we would have had to buy our own refrigerator. That would have been, an easy $1,500, $2,000 expense that we were not counting on. Laundromats, because we wouldn't have, that was like one thing that we knew we were just gonna have to let go of, was our in-unit washer and dryer. That's like a luxury here. And just in general, the areas of the apartments, even though everything looked really nice and cozy and perfect on the company websites, once we actually visited the apartments and we got to see like the area that it was in, that's when you really see. That's when reality hits. So just overall, we just decided that the best thing to do was to just stay here. Even if it means that we're gonna have to be a little bit more smarter with money and tighter budget, we just thought it's better. It's just, we'd rather do that than have to risk getting our cars broken into, because that was the other thing. That was one thing that we did not want to budge on, specifically my boyfriend didn't want to budge on, was the parking spaces. None of the places we looked at could promise us 2 parking spaces, even if we were going to rent 2-bedroom apartment. Normally that's how it goes, right? It's 1 space per bedroom. In this case, that wasn't the norm. That wasn't the thing. They could guarantee us 1 space, and then if there was additional spaces available, then they could give us another one. Some places had waiting lists of like 7 or 8 months before we could get a space, at least, right? At least 7 or 8 months. So it was just like that worry of like, well, if we're gonna park on the streets, then anything could happen. So a lot of give and take. Ultimately, we decided to stay, and luckily, everything was done, in a certain amount of time, so that we still had, we made the decision pretty early on, or early enough so that we could still talk to the leasing office for this place and say like, sorry for the inconvenience, but you know, we actually have changed our minds, we'd like to stay. So they were able to accommodate us, thank goodness, because it was done again soon enough that they hadn't even advertised the place as available. But yeah, that also meant that everything that was packed up had to go back out. Well, most of the things. There were some things that we decided could stay packed up. Some decorations and stuff like that just like, oh yeah, let's just leave this. You know, it's not essential, so it can just stay in boxes. But yeah, so I still had to deal with, even though we didn't move, it felt like I did move, just because we had to pack and then unpack. But yeah, that was kind of the process. It was still very stressful. Going out and seeing apartment took up a lot of my time. And then I still had to deal with school. Speaking of school, that was actually going to be my second announcement. I got accepted into Cal State Long Beach. If you've been watching me, if you've been following me, then you know that I'm currently going to a community college here in Long Beach, where you take care of the general education, and you start to dip your feet into whatever your field is going to be, and then that's when you transfer over to a 4-year university, and that's where you actually finish all the major related courses. So the last couple of years I've actually been doing things that are related to my field already, since it's my second degree. So I had a BA in psychology that I graduated with in 2016, and then so it was there's like a time window where if you've graduated within a certain amount of years or a certain number of years, we can still count your previous courses. Obviously, if you come back after 20 some years, you're required to do everything from scratch. So thank goodness I didn't have to do that. So I was able to start taking the major related courses at the community college. And back in November, I think it was, that's where you apply to transfer, and then you wait. And in my situation, because it's my second round, the second time I'm going to college, they put me at the back of the list, put me at the bottom of the list, back of the line, I should have said, back of the line, bottom of the list. And they said, okay, we're gonna give priority to the people that are coming here for the first time. They're coming here for their first degree, and then if there's room, then we'll consider your application. So it was kind of nerve-wracking, but I made it. So now all I have to do is pass my courses, and then, God willing, in August I'll be going to Cal State, which is exciting. I'm very, very happy. So school has also been, taking up a lot of my time. Regardless, I had midterms, so I had like projects and tests that I had to take care of. But yeah, so that's a brief summary of the last 6 weeks for me. I have been able to stitch, not as much as I would like, but I have been able to stitch on some of my focus pieces. So without further ado, let's get to the stitching, shall we? And the first one I want to show you is already here. This is my focus piece for my daily 30 challenge group. So I stitch on this for at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. This is Change of Seasons 2 from Mystic Stitch. And I'd like to finish this before Leap Day 2028. I started it on Leap Day 2020, and I'd like to finish it before Leap Day 2028. And it's slow going with this one. I feel like I am gonna have to, stitch on this more than I actually am. But let me just open it up so I can show you. This is what we're at so far. If you follow me, then maybe you remember. It's been a bit. I'm trying to stitch on each season as we're in that season. So at least, in my hemisphere. back in January and in February, and of course middle of March as well. I was working on the winter section, so this is where I left y'all. So what I did is I kept going with I think it was just the one, maybe two shades of blue, and I just decided to just go all the way to the edge of the design. I wanted to reach that corner, so I knew where the end was. And then I just kept going. I just kind of kept going randomly throughout that section, because by the time I reached that, I only had maybe like a week or two to go before it was spring. And then once spring started, I moved down to the next corner, or the next section of the design. So back when I did the trunk, I think I stopped here, I want to say, or maybe did this part. So I had to do the second half of it that has to do with the spring section, and then I picked a color that was used often enough so that I could actually see the tree take shape. So that it just ended up being one of the purples, DMC 550, and this is where I was so far. So it's not too much to show, because again, there were a couple, at least 2 or 3 weeks where I actually didn't do the daily 30 just because life got crazy. So yeah, so there actually isn't as much progress on this as there should be for where we're at now. But I did do 3,400 stitches. Last time I showed it to you, I was at 20,232, and I'm now at 23,639. So over the course of the 6 weeks, I did 3,400 stitches, which again may or may not seem like much. I average about 110 stitches a day when I do work on it. But I did take a little bit of a break. Not too much though, because I do like working on this for that daily 30 piece. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just move it to one of the actual focus pieces for daily 30 for the yearly event, so that I can get more progress. So that's one. Another project that got lots of work done was the one that I take for work, and my tablet is still not working with me. It's fine. I'll show you the itty bitty preview. There it is. This is Chopper, and I think the shop name is called Be Cute Today from Etsy, but the patterns are signed by Red Max, so it's a little different. But this one has a lot of block stitching, so as soon as I outlined the section that I was working on, everything was good to go. I'm trying to turn this off. So yeah, so I would take this whenever I had shifts, but no one, I have to be there regardless of if someone books an appointment. So if no one books an appointment, then that's free time for me. I would either work on homework, study, or work on this. So this is where we're at. The last time I showed this to you, I had just about finished this section right here with the dark pink, which is the shadowy part of his cap, of his hat. So obviously I did everything else. I outlined more sections, and I started I don't know if you can see, but I did start on the white as well. I ran out of white though, so I have to get some more. This was, back when everything was still packed up, so I didn't have access to my DMC. But now that I unpacked everything, I can go back to to finishing up the white cross. So I put this in Pattern Keeper. According to Pattern Keeper, I'm at 30%. However, it's also counting like the background as being stitched. So just take that into account, I guess. I'm sure it's really not a third third of the way done. Maybe once I finish the cap, it's a third of the way done, but not as it is right now. But yeah, but I'm still using this for work. It's an easy piece to work on, and yeah, I may be able to finish it this year. I'm not sure. It all depends on how many people decide to come into tutoring. Another piece that I really focused on the last few weeks is my Fane Fairy. Well, I call it my Fane Fairy. It's called Mini Midnight Stroll from Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Julie Fane, hence Fane Fairy. And I'm making this for my goddaughter. So both her birthday and Christmas are in December, so I'm like, oh, I can just finish it for her birthday. It's the same. It would be the same thing. And I also have to account for the time that it would take to frame it. So I feel like I can do it. I feel like I'm in good shape with it. I would just have to, double down and make sure that I actually work on this. So, which I have. The last time I showed it to you, I was at 45,380 stitches. I am now at 51. I can read my own writing, guys, here. 51,492. So this is where we're at. I finished, so for maths purposes, I did 6,112 stitches since the last time I saw y'all. What I did was I finished a few colors over here. I think that's the last time I showed it to y'all. So I finished a few colors over here, and I think I did 1 or 2 on this side. But then, again, I had to pack everything up, so I only grabbed like maybe 2 or 3 colors that were used throughout, or the most used colors. So most of the stitching was done on this side. All of this, I think, is new. And yeah, this entire piece has 75,000 stitches. So once I hit that 50,000 stitches mark, that's 2/3 of the way done. I've got a little under 25,000 stitches to go, which is why I'm like, if I focus on this, if I drop everything else and focus on this, maybe, just maybe, I can finish it within the next few months. So the plan is to go ahead and finish this purple section, and then I'll go ahead and go back and finish the lake. I think it's a lake. I don't know what it is, but the water, the body of water. And then I'll go ahead and start moving up and finish all the stitches. I think that's only like 1 or 2 colors. Again, I didn't have those colors available with me, so I can just start moving up. I'm making my way up, finish the moon, and then she'll be done. Isn't that exciting? Ooh, maybe this can be a birthday finish. Oh, new goal. Finish it by July. just focus on this. Stitch on nothing else. Well, I mean, I still have some things that I would like to work on. And my challenges kind of force me. Specifically the yearly daily 30. You have to stitch on your focus pieces. But as long as you get 100 stitches in, that's it. So you can do the minimum. So maybe that's what I'll do. Another piece that I focused on a lot is another one of my hates. This is the Eternal Promise by Matt Stewart, and I'm stitching this for my twin sister. So this one also got a ton of work done. And again, I only used maybe 3 or 4 colors. that I had with me. Everything else was packed away. But this is where we're at right now. So the last time I showed it to you, it was somewhere over here. I don't think I had this much of the gray done, but yeah, the rest of the dark colors over here is just what I worked on these last 6 weeks. And this one also got 6,000 stitches done. This one got 6,480 stitches. So the stitch count last time was 17,174, and I'm now at 23,654. So I haven't worked on this month, but it'll get some work done. Not sure how much now that I have that idea in my head of finishing midnight stroll, but it does need to get work done for the yearly challenge. So yeah, so that's this one. This one, I mean, that's the hard part about working with larger projects is you have to stitch a lot in order to actually make good progress. So give and take. The last piece that I worked on, well, one of the last, I have a couple more that I want to show. It's my dimensions kit. This is stacked teacups. I had hoped to finish this, but I lost steam with it. I feel like it's because I was working on all the detailing that I was just like, oh, okay, I need a break from this. So here's what I have done so far. As I mentioned, here, I'll see if I can, I don't know if that helps or makes it worse. So the last time I showed it to you, I was done with the teacups, the stitching on the teacups. So what I did do was I added all the detailing. This teacup was a beast. This one just had so much detail. It came out beautiful. I love it. It looks really pretty, but it was a pain to stitch. I think the bird was pretty much done. I think I only needed to do his little eye, which is just a French knot, and the little feet. But yeah, everything else was just outlines with the leaves, and I outlined these two teacups right here as well. I did start on the large teacup. This is gonna be the last one, and I figured like I'll at least get the background done. But even then I was like, yeah. It's mostly because most of my challenge groups require us to count stitches. So yeah, so working on this, I either had to, when I was doing the outlining, I had to wait until I was done with the challenge, because I was like, I'm not gonna start counting the detailing. I'm not gonna. it's a lot. So yeah, at least with the background I'm able to count it, but since it is half stitch, I have to do twice as much too. We'll see how much I get done. I still want to finish it, but I also want to focus on my full coverage pieces, because of the fact that last year I finished so many pieces. I figured, okay, last year was finish all the things, so now I actually want to focus on the full coverage pieces that aren't that close to being done. One piece that I did take out once everything was settled and we knew that we were gonna stay, I did go and dig through for something. I wanted something different. I wanted something that wasn't full coverage. So I took out my memorabilia. This is Portrait of Veronica. I started this on my birthday of 2020, because it was in 2021. I didn't start anything 2021. It was my birthday 2020. same day that I started the Eternal Promise. And I didn't add too much to it. I just I had maybe like 300 or 400 stitches. I think this is the right way. It might be backwards. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because this is the ribbon. So this is this ribbon that's like sticking out, and then the skirt. So not too much. I just felt like stitching on something different. But I am gonna work on this like just section by section, because it's the first time I'm working with even weave, so I'm still nervous. I still feel like I'm going to miscount and mess up on one of the stitches, like one of the crosses, like do three spaces instead of 2 or something. So I'm just taking my time, going slow, and just finishing one little section at a time. I'm trying to not go out too much or count out too much. So yeah, I'm excited. I want to work on her a little bit more. I have me and a friend of mine, Sarah from our Stitching Kingdom, we're planning on starting Persephone, but we're doing a color conversion because she's both goddess of, I think it's fertility, but then she's also goddess of the underworld, right? Because in the mythology she marries Hades. So Persephone has a lot of colorful tones in her dress, and we want to change it to dark purples and blacks to kind of allude to the second the second part of her story. But again, I would like to make more progress on Veronica before starting on her, at least. So that's all I can show you. I am working on another project that's a present. It's going to be a gift. So, and that one is going to be secret. So that's also what's been taking up most of my time as of late. I started it on April 1st, when I started my spring break. So I wanted to finish it before the end of my spring break. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen now. It's a small enough design that I thought I could do it, but now I'm like, maybe not. But definitely by the end of the month for sure. It's not a hard stitch. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you. Again, I didn't stitch on too many pieces. I didn't get to stitch on Moon Charmer, even though I wanted to stitch on Moon Charmer. I haven't touched Sea Glass either. I still want to do that because I need to do this month's part for it. For that one, I'm working. I'm stitching along a few friends, and we all chose one project, split it up into 12 parts, and then we're supposed to stitch one part per month. So by the end of the year, we have at least one finished. So I still need to do April's part for that one. I haven't done it yet. But yeah, speaking of those friends, one of those friends is Sammy from Sammy Jade Stitches, and she is currently in the process of opening up her own business, her LNS. I believe it's called the Hummingbird Stitchery. Sorry, Sammy, I'm trying. I tried. I'll go ahead and link the Facebook group down below. She's still in the beginning stages. She's just getting the first few shipments in of materials and patterns. But I'll go ahead and link her group down below. I'm excited for her. I'm really happy. I'm always happy to support friends. So when she told us about this, I was like, yay, it's exciting. I now have a new, since Fire Puppies is shutting down, which, all the best to them. I'm happy for them. It's great for them, sad for us. Now Sammy's gonna do her own business, so I'm really happy for her. And yeah, I encourage you all to go check it out and support her. Again, still beginning stages, so there may not be too much to see, but it's gonna grow. And yeah, that's it. I feel like that is all I had to talk about today. Thank you so much for all your patience, for coming by again after all this time. And I hope that I can get back to filming on a regular, every 2 weeks, on a regular schedule, going back to the regular schedule of filming every 2 weeks. But school is ultimately the dictator of how that goes as well. So I'll try to stick to it, of course. I promise I'm not gonna go away for as long as I did this time, because it really was too long. I miss talking to y'all. But yeah, if you have any questions about anything you saw today, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. I'll go ahead and link the patterns. I'll link Sammy's Facebook group as well. And yeah, I believe that is it. I didn't, as far as FlossTubers go, I am trying to branch out and see if I can watch any new FlossTubers. So if I do catch any, we'll go ahead and mention them here as well. But until next time, as always, I hope you guys have a relaxing weekend, a productive week, and you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. Until next time, ciao!